Hi, I'm Ramish from Studio 3. Rural-to-Urban Mycelium envisions communities connected by mycelium, by starting from the roots and up. Mycelium is more than just the root system of mushroom. It is part of a greater system which is key to breaking down organic matter. This is critical in maintaining healthy soil. Urban areas tend to have deprived soils and complex disrupted ecosystem. My proposal aims to address three key elements. First, the regenerative plantation through mushroom harvesting and the growing of mycelium materials. Secondly, an agroforestry school that fosters collaboration between residents, mushroom enthusiasts, and scientists alongside each other, breaking barriers across disciplines. And third, an experimental kitchen in the form of a self-built satellite intervention that can be retrofitted to suit different programs. Thames Chase, my site, is located in Upminster, East London, part of the London Green Belt. I researched into existing research facilities around mycelium in London, such as Material Futures in CSM and Biome, which is a biotechnology company. My chosen site is located in an open area along a walking trail. Therefore, ensuring this continuity was maintained was important when I started designing. My proposal aims to address the larger issue of food insecurity across London through the empowerment of people to grow meat alternative foods at home. The creation of kits that will be sold through my satellites will allow for people to grow their own insular mycelium products, both of which promote a circular economy which are fully decomposable at the end of their lives. This inspired me with several opportunities such as the implementation of micro hydroelectric systems and the use of still foundations. In our collective archive, I found that different land policies such as common land, mineral safeguarding area, and site of special scientific interest impact the site, which further grounded my research-based program. Truffles for All is a collaboration with my peer Matt Chung in which we reimagined the exclusive truffle aroma through a similar mushroom that can be grown in the UK. This was the start of my interest in reusable pods for mushroom harvesting, which hang along the workshops like chandeliers. Building from my experience of growing mycelium materials in year 1, I wanted to challenge existing kits which depend on several single-use plastics. I found that the wooden plug with mycelium spores acted like an explosion of mycelium once inoculated. I have found creating and growing your own object has been very empowering and exciting, which I hope to bring to all urban dwellers. Inspired by the Belgian Pavilion 2023, I wanted to design a structure that acts both as a room divider, acoustic insulator, and storage. The mycelium panels will be produced on-site. Here I started to define my program which understood both indoor scientific mycelium testing and the outdoor wild mushroom growing alongside each other. This defined my 100-year vision of my proposal, which will expand and grow like mycelium. Temporally, changes in the building facade will occur, with the external mycelium cladding decomposing, revealing the grid skeleton. The satellite runs alongside the proposal to support further research and testing off-site. These pods can join to create smaller institutes and research centers. I was interested in following the winding pathway that runs through my site and structurally use repetitive timber columns to create a skeleton-like aesthetic that reveals itself over time, as seen in the examples. This is my first attempt at spatializing my program with the growing pods hanging along the ceiling and corridors. I then went on to use mycelium growing patterns to inform a design shape that is feasible. Mimicking the flow of mycelium, I wanted to embrace a more fluid shape which joins together several separate buildings along the walkway, located in a way to least disrupt the existing tree cover. My concept model allowed me to do just that by inserting columns into the clay and playing with the shapes. I developed a system of using the cantilevering columns in several formations suited to the program. For example, a more enclosed space for the classrooms and a wider space for the pond dock. All my buildings have two programs running side by side, which inform each other both vertically across levels but also horizontally through the interconnected pathway. Part of my strategy is to develop similar construction techniques to further streamline construction. Both structures aim to touch the ground lightly and create spaces that are flexible to its needs. My satellite intervention can be self-built to connect existing park and garden communities to the larger aim of replanting the urban area. Using my base pod, I have developed 4 pod programs, one of them being an experimental kitchen which plugs into London parks to promote both mushroom-based foods and become a key in the urban domestic growing through the selling of mushroom kits, avoiding extensive deliveries, hence reducing its carbon footprint. These pods can also come together to form an exhibition, lecture, or collaboration space in urban areas which aim to address the revitalization of urban soils. The construction of the pod uses Japanese joinery to reduce the need for bolts and brackets. The use of stone foundation inspired by Heiatsu architects allows for easy deconstruction. Nested along the forest trail, Rural-to-Urban Mycelium has several points of rest, such as the pond dock and the library, which add to Thames Chase's existing well-being strategies. The pond dock allows for gradual entry into the raised platform. The walls are lined with bifold doors that have drop-down tables to allow for outdoor teaching and research. I didn't want to disturb the existing soil by repaving, hence the continued pathway leads from one building to another. The classroom and workshop aim to foster a close and collaborative nature across all users, from presenting research to creation of prototype molds in the workshop above. There is a visible dual program, with the growing chambers being fully enclosed with limited sunlight, and on the other side a spacious and light-filled library housing key research data and mycelium material catalogs. The laboratories support a more refined program of scientific testing with flexibility to combine labs for larger experiments and groups. This drawing shows the inhabitation of the pond dock in more detail. All structural columns slot into the steel helical screw piles. This elevates the structure by 1 meter to allow for the soil to still flourish. This also creates the perfect environment for wild mushrooms to grow in. When choosing a structural material, I aim to use a non-toxic glue, through which I discovered linseed oil-treated timber. All my cantilevered columns have a curved truss which allows for easier load transfer and soften the shapes. A closer look into the everyday of the classroom, highlighting the dual program nature. When designing, I wanted to ensure that I create healthy and efficient spaces, for example through the use of motorized skylights to promote cross-ventilation and overhangs to avoid overheating during peak sunlight hours. I also chose to select thatch roof as this would further insulate my building and it would complement my decomposition narrative. The mycelium panels are attached to the grid structure, which allows it to slowly decompose and embrace a more organic shape over time. This grid also facilitates the hanging of the growing pods. I envisioned the school to work alongside the satellite pods scattered around the site to facilitate more refined research programs, for example, a mycelium 3D printing, water filtration, and food experimentation. The library features the largest display of the structures as bookshelves and acoustic insulators. This space allows for the perfect resting space along the forest trail. The cascading walkway coverings allow for shade and outdoor events. This also allows for the continuous access to all buildings with platform lifts, increasing accessibility. These highlight the experience of walking along the covered walkway and the continuity of the materials from the exterior to the interior, with materials such as timber, cork, and mycelium creating warm spaces. This is the key drawing highlighting the implementation of several of my systems and interventions, such as the satellite pods, acoustic mycelium shelves, and the reusable growing pods. Thank you.